It's a top.
Right, all right, man. All right, good afternoon to the third episode of Barbados Manchester United supporters on air. I am here with a man like Caveman, aka Caveman, and then a man like Chad Paris, again from last week's episode. How are you guys doing?
I'm cool, man. I'm cool. Just trying to fit in where I get in, or getting where I fit in, however the Americans say
True, 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 true.
A level, man. Just cool.
All right, no problem. So, I won't hold him when I meant too long because I know when a man want to watch Euros, right? But anyway, let me get down to business though. So when I was thinking of these topics, right? A man had messaged me. I was like, man, Phil, you just talk too bad about LVG and what's not, right? So I said, you know what? Let me discuss with some of these Manchester United supporters, like, what's the positives that Louis Van Gaal brought. Louis Van Gaal was hired after the failure of David Moyes, and now he has been sacked in 2016. So let me start with Chad though. Like, don't say any negatives though, because we could stand here the entire day.
Okay.
But
Alright.
let me
No,
start.
no, no.
Let,
Van Gaal actually do some good stuff. In terms of transfers, we got the likes of Herrera and Luke Shaw. Even Daily Blaine. So we say he's a decent player when they're ready. Um, in terms of transfers, he didn't do a bad job. He brought a decent system to Manchester United. I just think our players needed more time to adapt to it. But I mean, all that's a toss up by any day. But the main great point about LVG is that youth. He brought youth into the system. He brought youth that I didn't even know. I didn't even know who was Foster Max. I never used to follow. You know what I mean? Or I don't know about the other young father too that straight for England. I can't remember his name though.
not
Oh boy,
Rashford.
Rashford, right? Rashford. I had heard about him before too, but Van really put him in the spotlight, and all these players turned out to be really good players. So that's one thing all Manchester United supporters have to thank LVG for. Really brought in the youth, and he won us a FA Cup after a whole year, a couple of years not winning any. So in terms of transfers, some transfers are youth. I would say LVG was really good. He tried to bring a system into Manchester United, although it didn't work. He tried.
Caveman, Louis Van Gaal, 2014 to 2016. Your positive thoughts only.
well, to go off what Chad was saying, youth, I think that was his number one thing that can benefit United in the long run. Because I never heard about Fosu Mensah until what's the guy's name again? Ryan Rock. Until he mentioned him sometime last year, and then he was like, keep an eye on this guy. And then lo and behold, he came in, was important. The guy Rashford, never heard of him. Actually, when Marshall got injured and Rooney was
Ali.
out, Rashford had to start. I was like, Jesus Lord, man, I didn't want to watch United at all because I was like, and I'm here, youngster, we about to go down fast. Hey, that boy turned out to be brilliant. So bring through the youth, giving your favorite superstar, Jesse Jesse Ronaldo Lingard, a chance to. So I mean, you got you got a lot of positives to look at in terms of the youth that he brought through. The next thing too, I don't know if this was down to Van Gaal, but I'm gonna give him credit for being able to patch up our defensive record somewhat.
Hmm.
Somewhat patch up our defensive record because there were games we got blown out, and we still finished with the joint defensive record with Tottenham Hotspur, I think, something along that line. And and at moments you could when some of those goals we conceded, it was just a lack of concentration. So if you could have get the guys to
So
focus,
my
focus
question to you it's not across you. You would attribute the good defense to the players he bought or the system he was playing.
The system. That was a good question. The system,
Ah,
because it was a possessive
okay.
system that if the opponents ain't got the ball, they're not going to be able to score. But when they got the ball and they caught us on the counter, it left us open a lot of times. And for some reason, Smalling, Blaine, and De Gea, when they were exposed,
Yeah, a lot of times.
huh? You breaking up? What you say?
For me,
Oh,
Man,
okay. So yeah, man. Those are the two things that I could think about off the bat. Hey, I'm gonna miss him. His drunken last year at the award ceremony. His
hmm
his drunken performance. Hey, he was a character too. He wasn't scared in the media. He was too open.
yeah, that's another positive too. He was a character.
Yeah, he was.
I could bring one positive that you guys will bring. So far, you guys have brought that the
You.
man brought through youth, and that the man hit possession for football. But I can tell you straight, one thing that LVG did positive was renew David De Gea's contract. David De Gea, I didn't have my doubts about him, right? But 1,000,001 Manchester United fans were saying, well, David De Gea is going to leave for Real Madrid. And it was dragged out through the entire summer of last year. And when you see David De Gea put pen to paper on that contract, happy man. Happy man.
That was the best thing.
Oh
That
boy.
was one of the best moments through LVG's tenure. I would also say, to add to what you guys were saying, because you guys said youth possession football and also the defense, right? But I would say also that I think he had an idea of what he wanted to do because when he was coaching Holland, I
Mhm.
assume he wanted to play this 3-5-2 formation because he would have Robin up top and Van Persie up top as well too. But Robin as a winger would be playing behind the striker, right? And I assume he wanted to use that formation, but with like Di Maria behind either Rooney or Van Persie.
Mhm.
And it was a very interesting formation, something that Manchester United was accustomed to. But I was looking forward to seeing what he could have done. But it kind of backfired. But that's a discussion for another time. One thing I'll also say is that he stopped our midfield. And one thing I must say, I don't know if I'm looking forward to it, but on to the next topic. We have the likes of Herrera, Fellaini, Snyderlin, Schweinsteiger, and midfield. But
Mhm.
addition to add to that midfield, we also have Wayne Rooney as of now. Not as of now, but like there are moments where he played in midfield for Manchester United, and I want to know what you guys think of Rooney being in midfield. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of it, but like Rooney for the Euros has been tremendous in midfield. But you know what? I don't think two games can decide whether Rooney has a spot in midfield.
True.
Man, tell me what you think of Wayne Rooney going from the striker position to the central midfield position.
I think it will backfire eventually because when I watch Rooney playing midfield, he could pick out a pass and do all of that Coles like stuff when he has time on the ball.
Correct, exactly.
In the Premier League, he's not gonna have that much time. He's much faster, and there's some coaches that are very tactical and will say, force them to pass the ball to Rooney and put pressure on him. Rooney will lose the ball too much times if he's in midfield. So I don't think it will be a smart gamble. Probably for a tactical game,
Okay.
for tactical purposes, it might work out, but I prefer him right behind the striker, like right behind the main striker, because he's still got the strength, he's still got the little footwork, he can still pick up a shot, pick up a pass.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer him right behind the striker, which is still sort of midfield, but
True.
I don't prefer him deeper in midfield because if he has a tendency to lose the ball. And I don't know what's up with these guys from Everton and midfield and Manchester United, but him and Fellaini, oh Lord, can you imagine two of them starting together? That'd be
No,
a
no,
disaster.
no comment. But Chad, tell me what is your ideal midfield for Manchester United? What is your ideal
But
midfield?
I would tell you my initial. Well, I will speak on Rooney first. My initial problem with Rooney at first in midfield was that I didn't think he had the patience for it. Right when Ferguson used to play there, I didn't think he had the patience for it. He used to get real hot headed at times. Um, it was more he was more suited for the striker role, or sitting in the hole behind the striker, right? But in the midfield, it's like a certain degree of patience and technical ability. So Rooney was a little rough around the edges all before. So I would had a before I would agree with Kevin Cave. Like Rooney would be the type of player that would lose the ball a lot because he will have no patience and the maturity to play midfield will not be there. But now we dealing with an older, more mature Rooney. I'm trying to say that it absolutely better now. I'm just trying to say maybe we could get a different way of Rooney, who will be more mature and hold on to the ball and be a little bit more technical. But we still got a way to see. But in terms of my ideal midfield, um, I would hope that we sign a midfield player. But if it was to choose with the players that we have, I would imagine a mixture of Herrera, Schweinsteiger, and Carrot, maybe. A lot of people might not prefer that midfield, but if it was to use the players we have, that would be the one I would choose.
Kev, what is your ideal midfield for Manchester United?
That was a good question. In terms of the coach that we got now, the manager that we have now,
Mm-hmm.
I know he'll probably look to
Man, you could be manager talk, man. I want to know your ideal midfield.
my AD midfield. Well, that's a tough one there, boy. Because
It really is. It really is.
I mean, I think Snyderland still got more to offer than what he has so far. And I'm a guy who don't like goals being scored on me in FIFA, nor in real life. So I would get another defensive midfielder.
Agreed.
Another defensive midfielder. Don't people my ideal defensive midfielder would be um, Carvalho, William Carvalho guy. Because
Mm-hmm.
I always admire him, especially after he's still at Porto. Is it Porto?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, right. So or whatever team he plays for, but I haven't seen him done much for Portugal. So now I'm like, maybe we might need to stay with the team we have now and see what can be done. But I didn't feel. Let's see Herrera get more game time too.
Okay
Um,
then.
Schweinsteiger, a healthy Schweinsteiger. Carrick.
Well, Carvalho's at
Yeah, everybody's be
sports
iffy on Carrick sometimes, huh?
Because he getting older and like Carrot needs people to be running around him, and that was lacking a lot in the team last season. Like people were just standing up waiting for the ball. Carrot could pick up a long ball, a short ball, but people weren't looking for space last season on that. So I guess it depends on the personnel on the team. Then I would say keep Carrot, deploy him in midfield more often because I still think that he got at least one more season or half a season, depending on how you
Yeah.
use him. Um, That's all I could think about for now. I know one of these topics coming up. One of the topics for the day. I'm gonna let Philip introduce it after he tell us his ideal midfield.
My ideal midfield. Um, like currently the players we have at our disposal, I would like to see a three-man midfield of Snyderland right in front of the back four, and I would say, a fit Schweinsteiger and Herrera. That's my
That's a
ideal
strong
midfield.
Mhm.
But I would also like to see, if a guy like Andres Pereira, who is in our youth system, can rotate between either Herrera and him or Schweinsteiger and him, because I think he has a lot to offer. Also, I would like to see Fosu Mensah get peace in the midfield because that's his ideal position. He's actually a defensive mid. And if he can get, a little start in the midfield, that will, bolster our midfield options because he's a very he's a very mature player for his age, and he has a lot of potential to offer. I will say that for sure. That's just my ideal midfield. But the next topic, onto the rumor mill, and this is something United fans love to hear. So the two rumors that have been floating around the last couple of weeks are Paul Pogba and Mkhitaryan. Paul Pogba, we already know because we let him go to Juventus, which I think was a very bad mistake. And Mkhitaryan, who is 27 years of age, who plays for Dortmund. Now, in my opinion, Mkhitaryan will, if he does come to Manchester United, he would be a good addition because he can play where Matthew used to play, and also he's at that age where he doesn't need to mature enough. He already knows the deal, and it won't be a bad signing. Chad, what do you think of Mkhitaryan coming to Manchester United?
In terms of a world-class player, I don't think he is one. I think he's a player who will get a job done. When I look at his stats, 28 appearances, he had 11 goals and 15 assists. Now I can go ahead and share how I think about this. I would add the 11 goals to the 15 assists, and let me say he was useful for 26 of those games, right?
Which is a pretty good stat.
Which is a pretty good stat. So all in all, he would be very useful at Manchester United, I believe, because as I say, he's a player who could do a job, who I believe could do a job and do it well. In terms of world class, maybe he may not be the most world class player out there, but he could do a job. And the stats show that he is a useful player.
Okay. Switching from Mkhitaryan to Paul Pogba, Kevin. Do you think Paul Pogba is needed at Manchester United?
No.
What you say that, Kevin? What you say that, Kevin?
The guy got straight to the point, and I agree with him. But let's hear what Kevin. What you say that? Straight to the point. Kevin, tell me what you don't think Paul Pogba is needed.
Let me see. Pogba. Wait, let me see. All right, let me rephrase that. If it was in charge, would they pursue him? Probably not. Is he needed? More than likely, because he's young. He's only what, 21, 22?
He's 23 now.
23? Okay. And he could do almost everything in midfield. But I'm looking at that price tag, and Manchester United need that money to build. We don't have any or rich parents.
But what I was saying, right, Kevin, is that price tag is our fault, That price tag is our fault. So I mean, if we want it back, we gotta deal with the damage.
Boy, the thing about, like, I'm not a romantic sort of guy, except for sports. It'll be a good story to see Pogba return to Manchester United, because he still talks about Manchester United. He loves the club still. I believe he still loves the club.
Yeah, but 80 mil?
80 million is just, Jesus Lord, boy, that's just too much. It's not a single goal scorer. How we gonna make back that money? Insurance sales?
Insurance sales impossible.
not in goals, so it's not worth it. To bring him back, it's not going to be worth it. But he would definitely be, if he were to return now, he would definitely be like our best midfielder, because the guy could dribble, the guy got touches, the guy could pick up passes long and short, the guy got everything a midfielder needs. But the price tag made me say no initially. But is he needed? Yeah.
Well, I honestly don't think he's needed, because you know what, I think our midfield is stopped. I don't think any of our midfielders are better than Paul Pogba. But let give you another example. We have the likes of Martial on the rise. Why should we go and sign a guy like Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi to hinder the progress of the likes of Rashford and Anthony Martial? That's just my opinion. I think the likes of Pogba, even though still young, would probably disrupt our midfield. And I don't know, for some reason he has an attitude about him as well too. But that's just me. I don't think he is worth the 80 mil.
I won't really say he would disrupt the midfield though, Phil, because I mean, who else? Like we talking about Snuggling and we talking about Carrot and we talking about Schweinsteiger. I mean, definitely I got space for Pogba, really.
Yeah, but those
Really,
those guys have been at United for just one season. I'm willing to give those guys a chance to prove themselves. If those guys were at Manchester United for 2-3 years and they were doing bad word all, I would look to go for Pogba. But honestly, we have a good enough midfield that can compete on all fronts. That's my opinion.
I agree.
We do. So
I agree too. That was a tricky question because do we need him? I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
And then the price tag just let me say no.
Correct. So Mkhitaryan and Pogba are some rumors are floating around, but realistically, Cave man, give me 3 signings you would like to see at Manchester United. 3 signings.
Let me see. I would like to see another defender. I saw recently that actually, you know what? Guy Bonucci, defender, centre back. Because Eric Bailey, Bonucci, yeah.
For Juventus.
Yeah, for Juventus.
Oh yeah, that would be a decent thing.
Because Eric Bailey, I'm excited for him because he looks like he got a lot of potential. But when I first saw the highlights, I thought that dude was a defensive mid because he was out of position a lot. So I think we'll need a more mature guy that's coming on to the end in his twilight, so that by the time he's finished, someone like Eric Bailey will be ready to step up. It's like same way with Smalling. Smalling just turned like what, 26 or 25? 26, I think. A guy Bonucci that's like 27 or whatever, by the time he get 31, Eric Bailey should be ready to take charge. So I'm looking for a more mature centre back. We need a right winger. We need somebody on that right side.
Well, why would you wait? You don't like Jesse Lingard?
Listen to me, Jesse Lingard is a squad player. He ain't a starter, not to me.
And you think Antonio Valencia on the way down now?
Exactly, but I still think he got some things to offer, but he's not going to.
So now I got to ask you.
Wait. So Memphis Depay, you won't give him another chance?
But
Memphis
Memphis
on the left. He plays on the left. I prefer him on the left where he can cut in.
But Martial has that left spot covered, so
that's a tricky thing, though. Like,
give me 2 players you want to see at United though, because a right winger, well, that's very interesting though. Which right winger you looking to bring in?
You got the rumors with Mkhitaryan. I would take him.
Okay, but he more. When I used to see him play for Dortmund, I used to see him more effective, like in the market position, in the number 10 position. But he can also play wing as well, though.
Yeah, because most of his stats that he racked up this season, based on the highlights that I watched, came from playing in that position and moving around on the right side. So I would say him, Mane from Southampton. But I see that they quoted him for 40 million now, so I'm like, nah, boy, y'all can keep him. Because he ain't worth the 40 million, but he was a good look too. He just need to be more consistent in this game. I would go on a limb and say Willian from Chelsea. Those one of those 3 right wingers I would take, and then or Mahrez
from Leicester.
Leicester, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He can't do any wrong. And plus, he got Premier League experience. He proven that he could last the entire season. Only since it's just a breakout season for him, I would still take the gamble because he probably won't cost that much. So I would be looking to spend like 20-something million on Mkhitaryan or Mahrez. And my other third choice would be a defensive mid. Kante, I would raid Leicester City. Kante has been doing no wrong for the entire season. even with France now, he's still not doing any wrong. So Mahrez, Kante, and Bonucci. I would take those
Okay.
three. I would take those three.
Actually, I was going to give a good shout for the Kante because Kante's buyout clause I think is less than 25 million. But
It's cheap.
yeah, so I don't see why not.
All three of them are
Chad,
cheap players.
Chad, tell me the ideal three players you would like to see at Manchester United.
Well, if I mean, I won't quarrel with Ibrahimovic, but I would prefer to see a younger striker up front. So if Manchester United could have went for a striker like Morata, who got like a load of potential, I would have liked it. In terms of defender, I would go with Kevin Cave. There, I think Bonucci is a good choice if he wants to come.
You would put Kevin Cave to play
He's
in defense for Manchester United?
no, Bonucci.
Oh,
Saying
okay.
Bonucci got the experience, and he's a real.
Chad gone?
I think the midfield for now is I think the midfield for now is fine. In terms of wingers, I really think that right wing position is lacking. See if we bring Mkhitaryan for true. Mkhitaryan plays a whole behind the striker. Then on right wing, realistic options are let me see Ashley Go, Valencia, Januzaj, Mata coming off. You're right. And we all know that was a problem with Mourinho when he was at Chelsea anyway. So I think a right winger we will need. In terms of a right winger that I would like to see at Manchester United. A good signing, but for some reason I would really love to see Bale. I think we miss out on Bale, but Bale is an impossible dream signing. I was just saying.
Okay, so my three signings. In defense, I probably said the last two episodes, John Stones or Rafael Varane. But another guy when he's fully fit in defense is Laporte from Bilbao. He's a pretty solid defender. In terms of my other two signings, midfield wise, I'm still going to go with either Isco or Ross Barkley. That's just my two signings for midfield. And up top or anywhere else, my last ideal signing. I honestly can't think of a third signing, honestly, because you know what, I could say Antoine Griezmann, but like we got the likes of Martial, Rashford, and hopefully Zlatan would come in. I just think we need another attacking option. But you know what, guys? Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, and thanks for coming through, Caveman. Chad still there? I can see Chad's picture, but you know what? Thank you very much, Chad, for coming through. If you hear me, Caveman, thank you very much.
No problem, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man, respect. And this has been Barbados Manchester United supporters on air.